The village of Oakhaven was ancient, shrouded in mystery. Ancient oaks loomed over the village, their gnarled branches heavy with the weight of centuries. The villagers knew every twist and turn, every shadow that stretched long and ominous in the twilight. But when the moon hid and darkness enveloped the village, an unsettling fear crept in. That's when the whispers began, chilling and eerie. They came on the wind, soft and sinister, like a ghostly caress. Some said they were the voices of the forgotten, those lost in the malevolent woods beyond the village. Others claimed they were the restless spirits of the wronged, forever searching for peace. Whatever they were, the whispering shadows, as they came to be known, haunted Oakhaven's nights with a relentless dread. Generations passed and the whispers persisted, a constant, chilling presence. They were a part of life, a bone-chilling reminder of the dark mysteries that lay beyond the firelight. Most villagers stayed indoors after dark, their curtains drawn tight against the unknown. But not Leo. Leo was different. He was a boy full of questions, with a spirit that couldn't be contained. He devoured stories of adventure and bravery, his head filled with knights and dragons. But it was the whispers that truly captivated him. He would sit by his window at night, listening to the wind rustle the leaves. He imagined the whispers swirling around him, telling their secrets. He yearned to understand them, to know who they belonged to and what they were trying to say. One day he decided he'd had enough of wondering. He would confront the whispering shadows himself. He would uncover the truth behind the whispers, and in doing so prove his courage. The night was still. The only sound was the gentle ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall. Leo lay in bed, his eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. He was waiting for midnight, the hour when the whispers were said to be strongest. As the clock chimed 12 times, Leo slipped out of bed. He pulled on his warmest clothes and grabbed his lantern, his heart pounding in his chest. Taking a deep breath, he crept down the stairs and out into the night. The air was cold and damp. Fog hung low to the ground, swirling around Leo's feet. He held his lantern high, its flickering light barely penetrating the darkness. He could hear the whispers now, all around him, seeming to slither through the fog. Leo walked towards the edge of the village, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew where he had to go, the old graveyard nestled amongst the ancient oaks. It was a place the villagers avoided, especially at night. The iron gates creaked open as Leo pushed them. The graveyard was overgrown and neglected. Twisted branches reached out like skeletal fingers. Tombstones stood at crooked angles, their inscriptions worn with time. The whispers seemed to grow louder as Leo ventured deeper into the graveyard. He could almost feel them brushing against his skin, cold and ethereal. He shivered, but he didn't turn back. He had come too far. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was tall and gaunt, its form indistinct in the darkness. Leo froze, his breath catching in his throat. He could feel his heart pounding against his ribs. The figure moved closer, and Leo could see that it was translucent, like smoke given form. It raised a hand, and Leo saw that it wasn't a menacing gesture. It was a plea. "Help me," the figure whispered, its voice raspy and weak. "Help me find peace." Leo took a step back, his mind racing. He had never seen anything like it before. But despite his fear, he felt a surge of sympathy for the spectral figure. It was clearly lost and alone. "Who are you?" Leo asked, his voice barely a whisper. "I am Elias," the figure replied, "and I am bound to this place until my final wish is fulfilled." Elias explained that he had been wrongfully accused of a crime many years ago. He had been buried in an unmarked grave, his name tarnished. His only hope for peace was for his story to be known, for his name to be cleared. "My diary," Elias whispered, his voice fading. "Buried with me. It holds the truth. Please find it." With trembling hands, Leo located Elias's unmarked grave. He dug through the cold earth, his determination fueled by a strange mix of fear and compassion. Finally, his fingers brushed against something hard. It was a small, rusted metal box. Leo pried open the box. Inside, he found a small, leather-bound diary. The pages were brittle with age, the ink faded, but the words were still legible. He began to read aloud. As Leo's voice filled the night, narrating Elias's story, a change came over the graveyard. The whispers grew quieter, less frantic. They seemed to gather around Leo, listening intently. The diary told of betrayal and deceit, of a crime Elias didn't commit. It revealed a conspiracy that had silenced him and left his name tarnished. With each word Leo read, Elias's form grew more distinct, less transparent. When Leo finished reading, a sense of peace settled over the graveyard. The whispers ceased entirely, replaced by a profound silence. Elias stood before Leo, his spectral form now solid and whole. He smiled, a look of gratitude on his face. "Thank you," Elias said, his voice clear and strong. "You have freed me from my torment." With that, Elias began to fade, his form dissolving into motes of light. The light swirled around Leo for a moment, bathing him in its warmth, before dissipating into the night. Leo stood there for a long moment, the silence washing over him. He had faced his fear, uncovered the truth, and brought peace to a restless soul. He felt a sense of accomplishment, a quiet satisfaction that warmed him from the inside out. He had made a difference in the world, however small. He had helped someone find peace. Leo left the graveyard, the rusted box tucked safely under his arm. He walked back through the village, the fog lifting with the approaching dawn. The whispers were gone, replaced by a newfound stillness. But as he reached his own doorstep, he thought he heard something else. It was a whisper, yes, but it was different now. It was soft and gentle, filled with gratitude and peace. Leo smiled. He knew then that Elias was truly free, and he knew that he would never be truly alone, not as long as he carried the memory of that night and the whispers of gratitude in his heart. The next day, Leo told his story to the villagers. He showed them Elias's diary and recounted the events of the night. At first they were skeptical, but the peace that had settled over the village was undeniable. The villagers, touched by Leo's courage and Elias's story, came together to give Elias a proper burial. They inscribed his name on a headstone, clearing his name and restoring his honor. From that day forward, Leo was no longer just Leo. He was Leo, the boy who spoke to shadows. He became a beacon of bravery and kindness, a reminder that even the smallest voice can make a difference. Years passed and Leo grew older, but he never forgot his encounter with Elias or the lessons he learned that night. He carried the whispers of gratitude with him, a constant reminder of the power of courage, compassion, and the importance of listening to the stories that whisper in the shadows. And so, the village of Oakhaven remained peaceful, the shadows no longer a source of fear, but a reminder of the boy who had faced them and the restless soul he had helped find peace. The legend of Leo, the boy who spoke to shadows, was passed down through generations, a tale whispered on the wind, a testament to the enduring power of courage and kindness.